Hi everyone, this is AGS Knowledge and Learning channel. In the previous video, we have seen exam question paper in that video I have explained part A 10 2-mark questions and part B 11th and 12th question. And in this video, I will be explaining the remaining 13, 14 and 15 part B questions. Let us go into the video. Draw the direct form, cascade and parallel form of a system with system function h of s is equal to 1 divided by s plus 1 into s plus 2. So direct form we have to draw. So there are two types, direct form 1 and direct form 2, in which direct form 2 is best, which requires minimum number of elements, delay elements. So direct form 2 has been drawn here, and cascade form h of s is equal to h1 of s into h2 of s. So cascade the given transfer function into 2 as h1 of s and h2 of s. So draw the diagram for h1 of s and h2 of s. Draw direct form 2 realization structure individually for those two transfer function and cascade them. That is, cascading is nothing but the output of the first system is connected to the input of the second system. So what about parallel form? Parallel form, as we know, h of s is equal to h1 of s plus h2 of s. So we have to draw h1 of s and h2 of s separately in direct form 2 realization. We have to cascade both the inputs, but outputs will be connected by the use of the adder. Okay, so while separating h1 of s and h2 of s from h of s, we have to perform partial fraction a divided by s plus 1 plus b divided by s plus 2. Find the value of a and b by partial fraction method, so that the value of a will be 1 and b will be minus 1. So draw direct form 2 realization structures and then connect them in parallel. Find the convolution of the following integral: x of t is equal to e power minus 2t u of t and h of t is equal to u of t. So since this is a CT signal, we have to write the convolution formula as x of t star h of t is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau h of t minus tau d tau. So we have x of t is given, so we have to write x of tau. H of t is given, so we have to write h of t minus tau. So t will become tau and t minus tau will become u of t minus tau. The limit will get varied, since u of t minus tau and u of tau lies only between 0 to t. So the limit is 0 to t e power minus 2 tau into d tau. Since this is unit step signal, the amplitude is 1. So we have to integrate only e power minus 2 tau with respect to d tau. The limits are 0 to t. So after integration, e power minus 2t minus e power 0 divided by minus 2, by substituting the upper limit t and lower limit 0, we will get e power minus 2t minus 1 divided by minus 2 as the answer. For more simplification, we have to take minus outside, so that the numerator becomes 1 minus e power minus 2t divided by minus 2. Minus minus will get cancelled, so the final answer is 1 minus e power minus 2t divided by 2. Second, next question is determine the impulse response of the LTI system given by the differential equation. So impulse response is nothing but the input x of t is equal to del of t. To find the impulse response, we have to consider x of t is equal to del of t as input. The response for x of t on taking Laplace will give you x of s is equal to 1. So first of all, take the differential equation as given in the problem. So take Laplace transform on both sides. Combine x of s coefficients, y of s coefficient and we will get expression as y of s by x of s is equal to s plus 1 divided by s square plus 5s plus 6, which is equal to s plus 1 divided by, so separate s square plus 5s plus 6 as s plus 2 into s plus 3. Okay, s plus 2 into s plus 3. So to find the impulse response, first we have to find h of s. So what is h of s? Transfer function. So transfer function is y of s by x of s. So instead of x of s, we have to substitute 1, so that y of s by 1 is equal to a divided by s plus 2 plus b divided by s plus 3. Find the value of a and b by partial fraction. A will be minus 1 and b will be 2. So substitute it and take inverse Laplace transform. Y of s will be y of t, minus will be there, 1 by s plus 2 will be, the inverse Laplace will be e power minus 2t u of t plus 2 as a coefficient, and then 1 by s plus 3 will be e power minus 3t u of t. So this is the impulse response of the given differential equation. Next, state and prove sampling theorem for a band limited signal. So we know sampling theorem is one of the most useful theorems since it is applied to a digital communication system. Sampling theorem states that a band limited signal x of t with x of omega is equal to 0 for modulus of omega greater than or equal to omega m can be represented into and uniquely determined from its samples x of nt if the sampling frequency fs is greater than or equal to 2 fm. What is fm? fm is the highest frequency component present in it. That is, for signal recovery, the sampling frequency must be at least twice the highest frequency present in the signal. This theorem is also known as uniform sampling theorem since it pertains to the specification of a given signal by its samples at uniform intervals of 1 by 2 pi fm seconds. It is also called low pass sampling theorem because it applies to low pass signals, that is signals for which x of f is equal to 0 for all frequencies such that modulus of f is greater than or equal to fm, where fm is some finite frequency. So let us see the proof. So what I have explained is first write the sampling theorem. This sampling theorem is most useful for most useful theorem since it is applied to the digital communication systems. So write the sampling theorem. The other name of sampling theorem is uniform sampling theorem as well as low pass sampling theorem. We can go to the proof. What is proof? Let us consider x of t to be a continuous time band limited signal which has to be sampled, which has no spectral components more than fm cycles per second. Let us consider x of omega, which is the Fourier transform of x of t, and del t of t is an impulse train which samples at a rate of fs hertz, and xs of t is the sampled signal in which t is the sampling period and fs is the sampling frequency. What is fm? fm is the maximum frequency. So draw the pictorial representation or graphical representation of the signals. X of t as a continuous signal and x of t as input. Another input is del t of t will give you the xs of t, which is nothing but x of nt. This is the sampled signal. And xs of t is equal to x of t into del of tt. So del t of t. So what is the exponential form of Fourier series? So this is nothing but, what is this? This is nothing but exponential form of Fourier series of del t of t. So taking Fourier transform on both sides with respect to the equation, we have to substitute x of t and x of t. and we will get x s of omega is equal to 1 by t summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x of omega minus 2 pi by t n. So draw the diagram. Spectrum, these are nothing but frequency distributions, or in the other way we can say frequency spectrum of, first picture is frequency spectrum of continuous time signal x of t. So what about the rest of the three diagrams? The rest of the three diagrams shows frequency spectrum of sampled, that is xs of t. The first one is the spectral in which omega s is greater than 2 omega m, in which the second one is omega s is equal to omega m, and the third case is omega s is less than 2 omega m. So what happens is, if omega s is less than 2 omega m, if omega s is less than 2 omega m, overlapping of spectral component occurs, which is nothing but aliasing. Okay, so aliasing is nothing but overlapping of spectral components, and to avoid aliasing we have to be strictly ensure that x of t is band limited. So what is band limited? This can be ensured only by using anti-aliasing filter before the sampler. And the second condition to avoid aliasing is fs is always greater than 2 fm. Okay, so this is about overlapping of spectral component which causes aliasing. Aliasing can be avoided if x of t is strictly band limited, and second condition is fs is greater than or equal to 2 fm. If fs is equal to 2 omega m, or fs is equal to fm, or omega is greater than 2 omega m, there will be no separation between the replicas. Okay, so this is about sampling theorem. Compute inverse Z transform using residue method. This is the residue method is one of the method of finding inverse Z transform. There is partial fraction method also, but here they have given residue method to find the inverse Z transform for the following x of Z. So x of Z is given, in which Z divided by Z minus 2 into Z minus 3, region of convergence, modulus of Z is less than 2. So write the formula x of n is equal to, so the thing is we have to find x of n from x of Z, that is x of Z inverse Z transform will give you x of n. Inverse Z transform, one of the method is residue method, that is equal to summation residues of x of Z into Z power n minus 1 at the poles within C. Okay, in the place of x of Z, you substitute x of Z, which is given in the problem, Z divided by Z minus 2 into Z minus 3. So multiplied by Z power n minus 1. Okay, so Z power n minus 1, in the numerator you have Z. This we can write Z power n into Z power minus 1. So Z power minus 1 and Z will get cancelled. So you will get Z power n in the numerator. Okay, so Z power n. So Z power n divided by Z minus 2 into Z minus 3 at the poles within C. So what are the poles here? Z is equal to 2 and Z is equal to 3. These are the poles. So for Z is equal to 2, Z power n into Z, so cancel Z power Z minus 2 here. So this will get cancelled. So remaining Z places you substitute 2. So 2 power n divided by 2 minus 3. What is 2 minus 3? Minus 1. So that minus 2 power n u of n. Directly we can find the answer. Here 3 power n, 3 minus 2 you will get 1. So the answer is 3 power n u of n. So since the modulus of Z is less than 2, both the poles are exterior to C, so the residues are negative. Okay, so minus 2 power n u of n will become 2 power n u of minus n minus 1 minus plus will become minus 3 power n u of minus n minus 1. State and prove any 4 properties of discrete time Fourier transform. So properties of DTFT, I have listed 6 properties in which any 4 can be explained. That is linearity, time shifting, frequency shifting, time reversal, convolution, multiplication property. So I have left the properties like what are the properties? Correlation property, time scaling property, differentiation property. Those can also be written. So out of 6 properties I have listed, I have explained 4 properties, that is linearity, time shifting, frequency shifting and time reversal properties. So first of all, linearity, ax1 of n plus bx2 of n on taking discrete time Fourier transform will give you ax1 of e power j omega plus bx2 of e power j omega. So first of all, x of n on taking DTFT will give you, this is the formula, summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n e power minus j omega n, which is equal to x of e power j omega. So what happens if the input is ax1 of n plus bx2 of n. So in the place of x of n, we have to write ax1 of n plus bx2 of n. So summation and the exponential term, we have to multiply both the terms. So summation, we have got 2 terms. The first term is summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity ax1 of n e power minus j omega n plus summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity bx2 of n e power minus j omega n. So take a from the first term and b from the second term as constants. So what is this? This is nothing but this is the same thing here, x summation x of n, here x1 of n e power j omega n e power j omega n. So this is equal to x of j omega e power j omega means what about this? This is x1 of e power j omega. Similarly, this is x2 of e power j omega. Thus we have proved the linearity property. Sorry. And the next one is time shifting. X of n minus n naught on taking DTFT will give you e power minus j omega n naught into x of e power j omega. So if we take x of n discrete time Fourier transform, we have got this expression. So if we take x of n minus n naught DTFT, we will get in place of x of n, we have to write x of n minus n naught. Let us replace or substitute n minus n naught is equal to m, in which n is equal to m plus n naught. So in the place of n minus n naught, you substitute m, and in the place of n you substitute m plus n naught. So separate e power a plus b. E power a plus b is nothing but e power a into e power b. So similarly, e power minus j omega m plus n naught is nothing but e power minus j omega m into e power minus j omega n naught. Okay, so this one of the exponential term is fully a constant which does not depends upon the summation, that is e power minus j omega n naught does not depends upon the summation, since it don't have m term. The summation depends upon m. So take it outside e power minus j omega n naught. So the remaining term is nothing but capital X of e power j omega. So we have proved time shifting property, that is x of n minus n naught on taking DTFT will give you e power minus j omega n naught into x of e power j omega. Next is frequency shifting property. So here the frequency is omega, right? So we have to shift the frequency to omega naught, that is e power j omega n, e power j omega naught n into x of n on taking DTFT will give you x of e power j into omega minus omega naught. So take DTFT, that is discrete time Fourier transform, for e power j omega naught n into x of n. So instead of x of n, you replace e power j omega naught n into x of n. So combine both the exponential, we will get e power minus j omega minus omega naught into m. Here the frequency is just shifted as omega to minus omega naught. So this is nothing but x of e power j omega means. What about this one which has e power minus j into omega minus omega naught n as a component? We will get x of e power j into omega minus omega naught. This is the proof of frequency shifting property. Time reversal property, x of minus n on taking DTFT will give you x of e power minus j omega. So x of n, you write the formula, summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n e power minus j omega n. So what about x of minus n? So substitute x of minus n here. So let us replace minus n is equal to m. What about minus m? That is equal to n. So in the place of n, the limit we have to change it as m. Minus n you replace m, and e power j omega minus n. So minus n is replaced by m. So here we have no negative term, that is e power minus j omega becomes e power plus j omega, right? So the final expression is x of e power minus j omega is the answer. So this is the time reversal property. These are the 4 properties I have explained for DTFT. Next is given h of z, in which the ROC is also given. Find the impulse response of the system. As we have seen the same problem in Laplace transform, impulse response in Laplace transform, x of t is equal to del of t, in which x of s is equal to 1. In the same way, to find impulse response for a given h of z function, we have to consider x of n is equal to del of n, in which the z transform of the impulse function is 1. So similar way, h of z directly they have given. So you write h of z as y of z divided by x of z. Okay. So to find the impulse response, we have find x of z is equal to 1. So find the partial fraction a divided by z plus 4 plus b divided by z minus 0.2. So find the value of a. The value of a is minus 0.33 and the value of b is 0.33. So minus 0.33 is constant. So z by z plus 4. So where will be this z coming here? The z is given the problem. I have taken z as the numerator side so that we can take the inverse z transform in a easy manner. At the last, after finding the values of a and b, I have cross multiplied this z as usual to the terms, okay, 2 terms. So that z by z plus 4 on taking inverse z transform will give you minus 0.4 the whole power n u of n plus 0.33 into z minus 0.4, 0.2 will give you 0.2 the whole power n u of n. This is for ROC modulus of z greater than 0.4. If modulus of z is less than 0.2, the answer will be minus 0.33 minus 0.4 the whole power n u of minus n minus 1, and here also you will get 0.2 the whole power n u of minus n minus 1. So as we have seen here in the problem here, since both the poles are exterior to C, so both the residues are negative, so we have to change the coefficient sign also. Negative will become positive and positive will become negative, and u of n will become u of minus n minus 1. So in the similar way, since this is modulus of z greater than 0.4, we can write the answer directly. If it is less than 0.2, The answer is 0.33 into 0. minus 0.4 the whole power n u of minus n minus 1 minus 0.33 into 0.2 the whole power n u of minus n minus 1 for ROC modulus of z less than 0.2. So this is the final question. Find the convolution of x of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and h of n is equal to 4, 3, 2, 1. So we have to, since this is a 8-mark question, we have to write the equation. We should not follow tabulation method. Tabulation method can be followed for verification purpose. So draw x of k, draw h of k. We have to convolute both the signals x of k. So find x of k and h of n minus k. So to draw h of n minus k, first of all draw h of k, then write then draw h of minus k, and then you can shift the signal by ones. That will give you h of 1 minus k. If you shift it twice, you will get h of 2 minus k. Similarly, you can shift the signals. Okay. So what is n equal to 0? So n is equal to 0. You substitute in the equation. You will get y of 0 summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity. X of k, h of 0 minus k, you will get minus k. Okay. So convolute both the signals x of k into h of minus k. If you convolute the signal, okay, if you convolute the signal, you will get 0 you have minus 4. Sorry, 0 you have 4 and here 0 you have 1. Then 1 you have 2 here. There is no signals for 1, 2, 3 and 4 and all. So multiply 1 with 4. You will get 4 as answer. For n equal to 1, you have to shift the signal by ones. That is multiply x of k with h of n minus k. So here the coefficients you have to multiply are in the place of 0 you have 3. Here 0, 1. So 3 plus in the place of 1 you have 4. Here in the place of 1 you have 2. So what is 4 into 2? 4 2s are 8. So 3 plus 8 you will get 11 as answer. Okay. Next, for n equal to 2, n is equal to 2, multiply x of k as well as h of 2 minus k. So 0 you have 2 here, here 1, so 2 plus, so in the place of 1 you have 2, here 1 you have 3, so 2 into 3 6 plus, in the place of 2 you have 4, here 2 you have 3, so 4 3s are 12. So what is the answer? 2 plus 6 8, 8 plus 12 you have 20 as answer. So y of 1 is equal to 20. Similarly, you draw h of 3 minus k and multiply h of k and h of 3 minus k, you will get 30. So for how many values we have to find? H of 3 minus k, h of 4 minus k, h of 5 minus k and h of 6 minus k. So how to calculate the last signal to be multiplied? So since you have 4n1 plus n2 minus 1, that is the value of n to be substituted, small m to be substituted, that is 4 plus 4, 4 plus 4 8, 8 minus 1 7. So 7 samples we have to find. So the sample starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So totally 7 samples. So find h of 6, find signal h of 6 minus k. Till h of 6 minus k, you multiply it with h of x of k and you can find answers like this. Okay. So these are the answers. Oh, you have another problem also, sorry. Obtain direct form 1, direct form 2 cascade and parallel realization structures for the following system. So this is the system for equation given by a difference equation. This is a difference equation. This is not a differential equation, in which you have y of n minus 1 by 4 y of n minus 1 minus 3 by 8 y of n minus 2, which is equal to x of n plus 2x of n minus 1. Take z transform on both sides and find the transfer function h of z is equal to y of z by x of z. Here they have clearly mentioned we have to draw direct form 1 as well as direct form 2. So direct form 1 compared to direct form 2, direct form 2 uses minimum number of memory elements or delay elements. And for cascade, we have to write h of z equal to h1 of z into h2 of z. We have to draw separately h1 of z and h2 of z and connect them as a cascade connection. So what is cascade connection? Output of the first system is connected to the input of the second system. So what about parallel form? So for parallel form, h of z is equal to h1 of z plus h2 of z, in which we have to find the values of a and b and substitute it here. We have to cascade both the inputs of h1 of z and h2 of z, in which the outputs of both the realization structure will be connected with the help of the adder, so as to produce y of z as the output. So these are the realization structures. So I have fully explained part A and part B questions of this university question paper, which belong to December 2017 question paper. Okay, thank you.